Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
Every second this war continues, the costs to the American people go up. And this is the 10th time Democrats have forced Republicans to vote on a war powers resolution to end the war.
The Republican-controlled U.S. Senate has approved a measure demanding that President Donald Trump halts the war in Iran or seek congressional approval before continuing military action. But the resolution is largely symbolic because even after passing both chambers of Congress, it will not be sent to Donald Trump for his consideration and does not carry the force of the law. A handful of Republicans joined Democrats in the 50-48 vote. It came as Republicans in Congress have expressed skepticism about a peace plan Trump agreed with Iran as the unpopular conflict approaches its 5th month. Mr. Trump criticized the resolution, calling it poorly timed and meaningless.
Estimated $100 billion spent today. 13 service members lost their lives. Over 360 people have been injured. That doesn't include the collateral and physical damage of our partners. If all we do is get back to the JCPOA, that would be an absolute catastrophe, in my opinion. I expect a much higher return than just getting back to where we were with different language.
The UN's International Maritime Organization is set to evacuate more than 11,000 sailors who have been stranded in the Gulf because of the war against Iran. The International Maritime Organization Secretary General said the large-scale operation would be carried out in cooperation with Iran, Oman, the US and other coastal states in the region and the maritime industry. An interim deal was signed last week to end the conflict, but both the US and Iran have continued to clash on details of the Memorandum of Understanding. A Ukrainian air attack on Russian-occupied Crimea has knocked out power in its largest city, Sevastopol. Ukraine says its drones struck the city's main power station overnight. Sevastopol's governor warned some areas would be left without power until Wednesday evening. Kyiv has been intensifying attacks on power facilities in areas held by Russia to damage oil revenues and to try to force President Putin to the negotiating table. The port of Sevastopol is an important logistical and strategic location. Kenyan prosecutors say they are preparing to charge several students with the murder of their schoolmates following a suspected school arson attack last month. 16 pupils aged between 15 and 18 died and dozens more were injured when a fire broke out in a dormitory at Utumishi Girls' School in Gilgil, about 120 kilometers northwest of the capital Nairobi. 8 students were later arrested after police said they may have been involved in starting the fire by setting mattresses alight near an exit. The fire at the end of May tore through the upper floor of a dormitory containing 135 bunk beds and housing 202 students, forcing them to flee through a single doorway after the emergency exit failed to open. France has confirmed its first case of Ebola, a doctor who had returned from a humanitarian mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The doctor was immediately admitted to a specialized facility and is in a stable condition, according to the French Health Ministry. Democratic Republic of Congo announced an Ebola outbreak last month, but experts believe the virus had been circulating for weeks previously. More than 260 people are confirmed to have died from the virus, while 1,000 people have been infected. Tens of thousands of homes are without power in western France as temperatures are set to peak across the country during a record-breaking heatwave. Around 68,000 homes in Brittany have been affected. More than half of the country remains under a red heat alert with a high of 43 degrees Celsius possible. The peak comes after the country experienced its hottest day since records began on Tuesday. The heatwave has spread to other parts of Western Europe on Wednesday, with an orange alert for dangerous weather in place for parts of the Netherlands. A rare red heat alert is in place for parts of the UK, where temperatures could hit 38 degrees on Thursday. A German Lego fan has turned 65,000 bricks into the world's largest Lego sausage, a bratwurst in a bun, complete with a squiggle of mustard stretching more than 6.5 feet. Tommy Schmidt from the bratwurst heartland of Thuringia spent the best part of a year on the build, inspired by a local sausage maker. And a Texas neighborhood has been told to stay indoors and seal the windows after an 18-wheel truck carrying 406 beehives overturned near the Louisiana border, releasing an estimated 2 million honeybees. Emergency crews and local beekeepers pulled on their suits and waded into the swarms to round up the insects. Remarkably, the only casualty was a single sting to a photographer who got a little too close.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.